of interior that has been done in that shop? Or how many times have you just focused on the lighting in a restaurant more than the food that you're eating? Well, if you have been doing that and critically looking at the interiors more than the thing that you have gone in for, then you have it in you to become an interior designer. So who is an interior designer? Well, I'll be telling you that because I am myself an interior designer. It started very early because as a child I remember I loved doing these creative projects. In fact, my mom used to get up in the morning and say, "Hey, what did you do to your room?" I just simply loved to transform the look of my room. So that was my little space which I could do whichever way I wanted to do. So I would make up mural art at night and then put it up. So next morning my mother would get up and say, "Hey, what have you done?" Or I would make some little bead work and put it on my curtains and transform the complete look of the curtain. And I don't know when that creativity transformed into my liking for interiors, but I realized that I really loved interiors and I loved the space. I loved to work and create space, keeping the functional aspect in mind. And then I thought that I must train myself to become an interior designer. It's a beautiful career option. You could also become an interior designer. But at the very outset, you must all be wondering, what is interior designing all about? What is it that an interior designer does? Is it a very successful career option in these times? What is it that takes to become an interior designer? What is it that you must have to become an interior designer? Well, if any of these questions are running in your mind right now while you're listening to me, then friends, I'd request you to stay on, because in the next couple of minutes, I'm going to address at least 95% of all these queries which are running in your mind right now. So stay on. Then friends, interior designing is the career option for you all. So what is interior designing all about? A lot of people are confused about that. People don't know the difference between an interior designer and an interior decorator, a design consultant. So who is an interior designer? Well, actually speaking, an interior designer is somebody who is designing interiors of a space. He's actually deciding what is the kind of flooring that he is going to use in an interior space. What is it that he is going to do on the walls? How is he going to do up the ceiling? What is it he going to do on the windows, the doors, and all that, the accessories, whatever that you can think of inside a space, so that that space is functionally and aesthetically correct when it is designed. It's all about optimal utilization of the given space. So an interior designer is basically doing what? He's visualizing, he's conceptualizing a design for a new space that is given to him. But besides that, if it's an old space that is given to you, you're also sometimes remodeling, you are restructuring, you are redecorating a previously given space to you. So it's a challenge always, a new, different challenge. And as a designer, that is what is very interesting. So if you like challenges, if you are the kind of person who loves changed projects every now and then interior designing is for you. Because no project is similar similar to the one that you finished. And for each project, you need to do a lot of research, you need to think differently, you need to make your design work aesthetically as well as functionally. So that is all about interior design. See, in olden times when people talked about interior designing, it was all about ornamentation. In fact, there were no specialized interior designers. This concept of interior designing rolled in last century. And of course in India it came much later, probably about 3-4 decades back. So in the olden traditional interior designing, if you think about, it was all about ornamentation. If you look at the history, it was all about doing sculpture work, painting and putting it all over. But today it's a little different. As an interior designer, you can restructure the place the way you want. You can renovate the place and give a completely different look if you desire. So there is a lot of scope for this, especially in India now where the retail boom and with a lot of flow of money. So interior designers have a lot to do today. And also you must understand the spaces, the urban planning, the urban spaces have become smaller. So in a small space that whichever the person has, he is going to hire a professional, that is an interior designer, who would design the space in such a way that would give him the pleasing look, plus it increases his productivity in that given space. So if I am say a director of an office and I want my employees to give almost 99% of their time, then I need to give them the kind of environment in which they give their maximum output. So I would hire an interior designer who is educated and experienced enough to give me the kind of interiors that I want for my employees. Because if my employees are happy, I get a better output. And if I get a better output, I do better business and I earn more. So interior designer is somebody who is qualified, who is educated and experienced enough, who improves the quality of life, keeping in mind the aesthetics of the place, the functional aspect of the space. He keeps in mind the safety and the health issues, and he designs spaces. As an interior designer, you can also branch out and specialize in various fields. You could do residences, you could exclusively do bathrooms and kitchens, you could get into commercial interiors, and that would mean that you could do offices if you want, you could just do corporate offices, you could just do retail malls, boutiques, you could only do, if you want, shops. Besides that, you can branch out. If you like the furniture, you can be a furniture designer, or you could be a set designer. And nowadays that's a lot in demand. The event management companies are looking for interior designers who can put up sets. So you can get into set designing for tele-serials also, and why not for movies? So set designing is another step from an interior designer that you can take off. You could also be a landscape designer if you desire so. And now the big question, do you have it in you to become an interior designer? Well, there are some basic qualities that are required of an interior designer. If you have to ask me, I would say that you have to be artistic, you need to be analytical, you need to be a people person, and you need to be business oriented. So when I talk about artistic, that means you must have a sense of color, how you are going to use the element of color in interiors, how you can enhance a particular place by using colors, or you can cover up something by using colors. So your color theory should be strong. So if that is strong, your artistic bent of mind is strong, you could be a good interior designer. You should be able to work with light, the lighting, how lights create mood, whether you're going to use task lighting, or you're going to use accent lighting, or you're going to use ambient lighting, that you have to take on that. So lighting is important as an artistic part of the designer. You should also be able to work with texture. How textures can enhance interiors is also one part of it. Besides all that, the entire composition in the interior space, because you remember the space that has been given to you, you think of it like a canvas that an artist uses. An artist composes on 2D, he creates 3D. For you, you need to use the forms, that is your furniture, your accessories, your furnishings, your carpet, all that. The entire composition has to be well balanced. So when I talk about well balanced, that means you have to keep in mind the scale and the proportion, so that the whole interior space looks pleasing, and besides looking pleasing, it must work for the function that it is for. Now we come to the analytical part. When I talk about being analytical, what I mean is to stay in budget. See, you can have lots of ideas in your mind, but sometimes all those ideas need to be executed keeping the budget in mind. So stay within your budget limits. You must know how to estimate the material that you're using. You should know all the materials which you can use. Suppose you can't use marble because of the cost part. What is it that I can use in place of marble on the flooring? Or if I can't put say a paneling on the wall, then what is the other option that I have to do a wall treatment? Can I use a wallpaper? If not, can I just paint it up and give it a textured look to give a different look? So all those options you need to know. That is what I mean by being analytical. And of course, at the end of it all, you must have the overall project management skills. So that is being analytical when I talk about one of the qualities of an interior designer. And of course, now we come to the most important part, that is, as an interior designer, you need to be people oriented. That is, you must love this interaction with people, because see, your work is going to come because of the client or the customer. You are actually designing for him. So you must understand that client, because if you fail to understand and you cannot make a communication run between you and your customer, then you end up designing something totally different. So all your efforts all go in vain. You are designing something very beautifully, but then you will be only doing it for yourself. And that's where I want to tell you that there is a difference between an artist and an interior designer. You are artistic, but you are not an artist, because artist can create his creations only for himself. But as an interior designer, you are creating for somebody else. So your design or your composition is going to be dictated by what is demanded by your client, what is demanded by the function of that space. So you need to be people oriented, because you're going to deal with different personalities. There might be somebody who is very soft and he takes whatever you give him. There might be somebody who is just fixed with his ideas, and then you need to have that convincing part. So skills, I think I would call them communication skills that you must have to become a successful interior designer. Now that's dealing with your client. There is another aspect to dealing with people, and that would be the workers who are going to work for you on the project. So from a person who's going to do the electrical wiring in your room, to the person who is going to make the furniture on site, to somebody who is going to paint your walls. You need to have that communication skill to get the best out of them. Because if you can do that, then your design, your project is a success and your client goes back happy. So I would say you need to be a people-oriented person. At times when there are situations when things don't go right, something goes wrong with the site, then you should be having that personality to stay calm in all kinds of tense situations. So that is what is demanded of a good interior designer. He needs to be artistic, he needs to be analytical, he needs to be people-oriented. And out of all that, the last thing which comes is you should be knowing how to do business, because this is ultimately going to get you, you are looking for more and more work. So when you're looking for more and more work, what I'm talking about is that you must make profit in each project that you do. Because for your next project, you must have ample money to invest. So you must make profits. So you need to have a business mind. You should know how to market yourself. You must have good marketing strategies. What I mean is that you need to know how businesses work. You need to understand that at the end of the day, you may have involved yourself thoroughly into a project. You may have worked n number of hours. You may not have slept for weeks together. But if that project doesn't get you profit, then sorry, that did not give you business. Next business, you need to make profit in every project that you work for. So profit is one thing that you have to keep in mind. So that is where what I mean by being business oriented. You should be able to market yourself. So you have to have clear understanding of marketing strategies. Besides that, you must understand that you have to have that in you, that you are able to do business networking. So business orienting is also one of the qualities that an interior designer must have. So in the last few minutes that I've spoken to you, and you feel that you have been able to, or you feel that I have been able to address the queries that you had so far, then I must say, don't fear, just start, go ahead. You can become an interior designer. So train yourself. Everyone started from scratch. You can do it right now. So train yourself with us and become a successful interior designer.